Okay, in today's lesson, we're going to have another look at the head, but in a little more detail. So what we want to explore, and this is what's really important with coming up with a character design, is not just the features and things. What we want to take a look at here, which is going to be our subject matter for this lesson, and what we're going to be looking at, is expressions. Okay, so I've come up with a character. We're going to do the same character, but doing a variety of expressions and things. So let me work this up. Again, kind of using some of the same elements, starting with that rectangular sort of head. I'm not making this particularly exaggerated in proportions. Kind of making them rather generic looking, so that then I can play with the expressions and see where we can exaggerate there. So here I've got a little bit of hair here, a little on the sides, on the top here, ears kind of in the middle. But what's going to be different is what we've been doing so far is dots for eyes. So to get expression, get more out of the character, I am going to be using circles or ellipses to kind of give that character look. They're not quite centered here, but and the nose I'm going to give a little bit more shape to. So a little bit of the bridge of the nose coming out into kind of a little diamond shape here, and just a little bit of mouth shape here, and add those pupils into what would be the whites of the eye and the eyebrow. So looking at the elements we had before, just giving just a little bit more definition. And as you can see, when we start playing with expression, I'm going to kind of give a little bit more of what's the expression I'm looking for? Structure. There we go. There we go. So this. So let me see if I can straighten out these eyes a little bit. There we go. Maybe. So again, we talk about expression. This is not much of an expression. So I'm going to label all of them. So this one is going to be our neutral, where there isn't really a big expression or such going on with this one. So the next one, we'll start adding something. This is what we'll explore in the whole page here, is the different expressions and how we can represent those in our drawings. So again, I've done a simple character so that hopefully I can replicate it. Relatively similar in each of them. So let me see. So I've got these shapes here. So on this one, I'm going to have the character smile, meaning that he's happy. So expressions, maybe I should add to our title, kind of equals emotion. So that's what we want to convey. So here I'm going to have the nose up a little higher. And the reason why I didn't draw the circles right in, because what I want to do is kind of want to put cheeks up here. So here we got more kind of structure happening rather than just dots in the eyes in a rectangle. So here we go. I'm going to have, again, I want this character to look happy. So why I've got this line up here is the cheeks, because the corners of the mouth have come up, and that's kind of pushed the cheeks up, and that kind of comes into play where the eyes are. So to have a smile is we're exposing the teeth. So I have the upper teeth, I'm going to have a little bit of the bottom teeth too. And then the bottom of the lip here. And showing a little bit of depth, structure, that there's something in there, and not just a big white space. Again, you can play with that. And again, all we're trying to do is get, he's happy with the smile. So eyebrows are neutral. So here, I want to raise them up. And being cartoony, I can bring them right up into the hair. So we can have a lot of fun with that. Okay. So I have the eyes slightly looking inward, but just trying to find all the elements that I can work with to make sure he looks happy. That's what I got going here. And this is what I'm talking about structure, is taking a look. What are the components that make up a face more than the simple ones we looked in the last two lessons? So here I'm introducing some structure of the cheeks here being affected by the corners of the mouth coming up to create a smile. And it's still simplified. It's still cartoony. It's not trying to be realistic, but it's good to understand reality so that we can do a cartoon or a caricature of those same expressions, just like the rest of the structure of the face and such. Okay, so if we got a neutral position and now we've got them smiling, exaggeration is a big thing. So the next one, I want them really happy, so I'm going to have them laughing. So I'm going to change the structure of the head a little bit. I'm going to broaden it because he's going to have a really wide smile as he's really having a hearty laugh. So I still want it to look like the same character, but in that exaggeration, I can kind of change the volume. Not so much changing the volume, but the shape of the head to accommodate. So if he's having a big laugh, again, we're looking at structure here. That nose, see, I brought this, well, hoping to bring that nose up a little bit. This one, I'm really going to bring the nose up a bit. And so this bridge is much smaller. And what I'm going to do is, he's going to be laughing so hard his eyes are going to be closed. So here is the two slits of the eyes. But I'm going to put in a bit of a line like the upper eyelid. And this one, a little bit of the lower eyelid, but also that cheek that we're talking about here. Because that's going to be predominant here as well. Because he's got a really big smile as he's laughing. So if he's laughing, it's just not all going to be teeth. He's going to have an open mouth, but we're really going to see the upper teeth. I'm going to have so we can see the tongue. So that's something I'm introducing. I think we did have a tongue in one of our samples in our first project. Have a little bit of the bottom teeth and the bottom of the mouth. And I'm going to put kind of a protruding chin here with the bottom of the lip. So here we are. So I'm really changing that a bit just to accommodate that big laugh. So again, with the design now and trying to get expressions to work, I'm adding a lot more detail and I am adding more structure. So it is more complicated. But it's still simplified. It's still a cartoon and it's still very much representation. It's not trying to be realistic. But you know, if you really want to be a character designer, no matter in what medium, you should have some understanding of anatomy and structure and proportions of the real thing so that you can caricature them and exaggerate and play with. So again, I'm always going to be relating back to our animation program because we understand all this. And what's required is we have life drawing, we have anatomy, we really look at the real life and pick out what do you use and simplify to get animated characters and such. And again, that happens in most drawing medium. You're looking at reality, breaking down that structure, and interpreting it into more fun, simplified characters. Okay? So here, I'm going to do another one at the top and then add more at the bottom. We've got 2 more rows after this. So we've gone from neutral, smile, and a laugh. So we can see a progression there. This one's going to be an odd man out, but it's a different expression that I want to get us across. And again, I'm These heads are probably not all exactly the same, for sure. But this is why I've got a simple design, so at least I can get them to look kind of similar. I'm going to have more ellipse and ellipse shape happening here. And I'm doing it very light because there's something I'm going to do here. Got to get that nose shape in, that kind of diamond at the bottom of the bridge of the nose. But this time what I'm going to do, I am putting the eyelid, and this is why we have the whites of the eye and then the pupil, because we can really use the eyelids and the pupil position to get the expressions across. So really important. So what I'm doing is I am going to give a very squinty eye. And he's going to have the lip kind of coming up here. So, let's see if you can guess what the expressions are as I'm drawing them to see if it's working. So, the idea behind this one is he is suspicious. So, when you're kind of sizing something up, kind of tend to squint your eyes, kind of concentrate and figure what's going on here. So maybe he's confronted with some sales pitch or something and he's trying to figure out, is this for real? Is this too good to be true? Let me think about this. So yeah, it could be just it's definitely suspicious. You're thinking. So it's figuring out what that emotion is and what you're doing and how does that translate into an expression. And again, these are my interpretation. You're more than welcome to try and work out with your own character design, or you can follow along. So whatever you're comfortable with and you're going to enjoy. So hopefully you're having fun with all this. So we've got 2 more rows and there's going to be 5 faces on each. So on this one, another expression. So I'm kind of doing in between because I'm going to be adding a face here. So again, triangle with our character. Trying to get that simple design working for me. Try not to rush these videos. I tend to always want to get them so that they're not too long, so I end up rushing more than I should. Again, trying to get that nose shape in here. But now the eyes, I am going to, instead of putting a whole circle in, I'm going to put half circles because, in this case, he's going to be, I'm going to bring that eyelid down. He's not happy. In fact, I might even label it as he's mad. And let me play with this a bit. Where'd my eraser go? Not that this blue he erases very well, but I can lighten it up so when I put the lead pencil over top, I can see it more than the blue. So again, the blue is just to give me an idea where I want things to be. And the pencil's where I really want to nail it. And you know, these are not final pretty drawings. We're going to work our way up to that. We're going to be using the marker pen to do some cleanup down the road. But I think we got to explore all the construction, design, expressions, and everything before we get into any finished cleanup drawings. So kind of label these as structure drawings or working drawings. We're getting to understand our characters and play around and have fun with it. So there we go. So hopefully he looks a bit mad here. So like the neutral, smile, and laugh, here I'm going to have mad, and I'm going to make him a little more mad. And how do I get that across? That's the challenge with this. It's one thing to design a character. It's another to really get him to represent how he's feeling. And that's what works with your audience. So here I'm bringing this across here because, again, I'm making him more angry than in the previous one. And again, like the smile, I'm going to have the upper and lower teeth, but the shape of the mouth indicates not happy, but angry. And in this case, it's going to be anger. So there's mad, where you're not happy, not impressed, and then there's anger. It's a step above. So that's a bigger emotion. So being able to tell the difference and try and convey that through your drawing. So the first one could have been a bit of an annoyance that you spilt some milk or something. And this one, a little bigger. Maybe somebody ran into his car and caused a bit of damage, and he's not happy about it. Or something similar, yeah. So I kind of like making up a story. Or quite often, I mean, in the profession, you have a story, and you're designing the character to represent the personality, and you're creating expressions to help the emotion of the character during the story. So there we go. We've got anger. So the next one, we're going to take it to the next step. We're going to exaggeration. So I want to take it even further. So mad, anger. Now we're going to get him really exaggerated here. He's more than mad. He's more than angry. And here I'm going to really play with the hair and get that all really jaggedy, because he is really controlled by his emotion at this point. He's lost all control. Kind of what we call when somebody's really, really angry is they're seeing red. Meaning they don't even know what they're doing anymore. So here I am going to really, so here I'm getting the nose right up here. That's all in. And now, and I'm making space for a real angry mouth. Going to get those cheeks puffed out here. So some structure, because that mouth has gotten so big in anger that it's the cheeks, everything have pushed the nose up and really doubled up under the eyes here. The whole works. So he's furious. There we go. And you can experiment. You know, how far can you take it? That's always a fun thing. Is if you think it's exaggerated, go as big as you can, and then try and go further to make it as big and exaggerated as possible, to really over the top expression of your character. So you can see in this case I've taken a lot more detail, lines and such, and really pushed everything to the point where he is, and in this case he is in a rage. And again, lots of descriptive words that can come up with a lot of these expressions and things. But again, if you're ever doing character design and working on something and you're working from somebody's script, you got to look at, what words are being used in the script and make sure the character is expressing those same emotions. So there we go. So hopefully we see a development here of mad, anger, rage. And again, my background animation, it's almost like you can see that transformation, that animation of the character getting to that state of mind. And again, that works in all the different mediums, being a comic strip, a comic book, animation, book illustration, be it a kid's book or what have you. It's all the same bases, and it's getting that emotion across, those expressions. So we're finished with anger. We've got a few different ones here. We've got one. So this one doesn't need a whole lot of distortion to it. And I'm going to get those round ellipse. Let's see if I draw this one, if you kind of get an idea. Where I'm going. And again, with those eyebrows, I'm going to put them way up in the hair. So the idea here is that he is surprised. Or just surprised. I'm going to write down. Surprised, startled. How do you get that across? How do you convey that? It's a little bit of the tongue here with open, little small but open mouth. Again, it's playing around with the features that we have. What can we do to get across that surprise? And again, those eyebrows. Eyebrows really help expression and really get across that we've got some surprise there. Now the next one, that exaggeration we were talking about before. Okay, they're surprised. Now let's go big. I'm gonna move this over so I got some room. That's a big surprise. Let me see. Get that one a little more when I get in the. Yeah, this one's more of a. Let's see, get some teeth in here. Try and fix that up. So this one is more shock or totally frightened, or again an extreme, more than just a little bit surprised. He has a big emotion going on here. His eyebrows way up. This is more the hair coming up off his head. And let's see, I'm going to try and get this shape right. Really get those eyes. Let's see, here's my eraser. Let me use my eraser a bit so I can get, hopefully this working a little better. Sharpen my pencil a little bit. I have an electric pencil sharpener. You guys have the little ones in your kit. But done a lot of drawing in my time, especially when I was animating. Having a electric pencil sharpener really came in handy. Okay, there we go. There's that teeth crossed here. Tongue involved in this one, those bottom teeth. Getting that lip up. So there we go. Hopefully this really gives across that big fright or shock here. There we go. There. So again, we went from neutral to surprise to a big shock. gives us a real range here of expression. So let's go the other way here. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to be able to fit all these ones in. Yeah, I'll start about here. So on this one, same character. And on this one, I'm going to do the opposite of the happy. This one, he's going to be sad. Yeah, he got some bad news or something he's not happy about. So, try and get that starting to come across that he's sad for whatever reason. And again, so here I'm using the eyelid at the top here and bring that, and then duplicating that with the eyebrow. Curving that mouth so the edges of the mouth are down as opposed to up in a smile. There we go. He is not a happy camper here. So if we take that to an extreme, let's take a look. So in this case, he's going to be exaggerated into super sad. See, I'm going to even get those ears looking kind of like a puppy when the ears are folded down when they're looking guilty or sad. I'm going to do that with our character here. So here I'm going to get that nose shape here. And I'm going to really play up that sad look. And maybe he's so sad we got some tears going on. And yeah, he's so sad that it's really, he's crying. All right, so again, how far do you want to take it? How sad is this character? So in this case, yeah, I got him so sad he is actually grief. And if that means tears, what have you, get that across. So exaggeration, we're just taking this to the next level. And, you know, that distorts the face somewhat. That's fine. We're going to, hopefully the character's still recognizable, but we're really getting across. And again, I'm trying to show the tongue in here a little bit, as well as that curve down at the edges here. And again, that hair all limp and bent down. Just all the elements. What can we do to get him looking as sad as possible? Okay, there we go. Hey, we've got 3 more, and we'll be there. So again, there's lots of other variations. There's other things that can be explored. I just want to fill a page with some big examples of expressions. Again, many of these can be explored much further, but at least we've introduced the idea that our characters in our design and particularly, end use of how we're going to use them, can convey something about the character and their state of mind. So here, in this one, I'm trying to get the character to look either very tired or downright sickly. Sometimes we don't feel too good. So, just how sick or tired the character is, try and get that across, or how far we're going to exaggerate that. And again, that half eye closed, so we got that eyelid up here. We need to color that in a little bit. And then the pupils kind of barely peeking out from underneath there. Sometimes we're really tired or sick, bags under the eyes. We're not looking our best. And then having the tongue hanging right out. And again, I kind of got the ears folded over a bit, all kind of not just sad, but just feeling yucky. So again, we can exaggerate that as far as necessary, or really take that even farther. But so again, this is either very tired or sick, not feeling well. Okay, cool. Two left here. So I got this one. Trying to figure out what either kind of states of mind a character could be in. Not sure if I'm from here up to here. I don't know if I'm starting to lose the look of the character a bit. But whatever you've done for the neutral character, try and keep it consistent. So using the same sort of elements and looks of things to make that work. So on this one might be a little trickier. I'm just trying to get the character to look confused. Not quite suspicious and thinking. There's where your thought process isn't going anywhere. You can't figure it out. So it's like, what? Maybe I made a little mess of that. But yeah, maybe if I go up this way. So something mind-numbing that you can't figure out. And what's that expression? Again, I relate back to animation only because a lot of animators, because they've got to work with all these kind of expressions all the time, that's what makes animation characters really cool and popular, is they take emotions and they exaggerate them. And many of them make use of a mirror so they can play with the expressions of their own face and be able to translate that into their drawings. So if you look at any animation books and such, quite often you'll see that next to their drawing desk is a little mirror for them to look into and play around with those expressions themselves. And now one last one, and this one again is taking it even further. So if this one was confused, this one is taking it much further. And for this one, let's see if I can get things working here. He's more than confused. That's what I'm trying to get across on this one. He is completely disoriented. So taking that to the next step. So what I'd like to see in what you're going to be doing, and again, you can modify the character if you wish, as long as you're trying to be consistent with the character, just so we can see those transformations, that change in emotion. But if you can use the emotions that I've picked out here, you can add to it, but try and use the ones I've brought up. And try and add all of the change in the features here. And again, more detailed than the previous two, but this is what we're building up. Just how to get across those emotions. How do we get that expression to work? Okay, hopefully that one there gets them, right to the loony binny, so disoriented. So taking it to the extreme, confused, totally disoriented. So that could be a buildup of a sequence of happening. Okay, so there we go. If you can follow along, have fun with it, please. Experiment, play around with. And again, you can adjust the character and do extra. You come up with your own characters on another page and, take a look and see if you can come up with other expressions that you can challenge yourself with. Okay, well, hopefully you're having fun. I have fun doing this, so hopefully you get fun out of it too. And we'll see you in class next time.